Welcome back to Unperfect with Alexi. This is the perfect place for imperfect people. And today we have my dear friend Brea. Breanne. It's spelled B-R-E-A though.
Yes.
So a lot of people call you Brea.
Brea. Yeah, I've been called Brea a lot.
She's a very specific type of cheese.
Oh my goodness. Yes. When I was in Guatemala, I don't even think I told you this. Somebody was asking me what my name was. And I was like, Brea. And he's like, oh, like the cheese. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, the kind that you got to warm up, the party starter. I was like,
Yes, that's me.
there you go.
That's me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Brea the cheese. Well, thank you for coming on. It's been long overdue.
It has.
I'm so
You're welcome.
excited.
I
Okay,
know.
so first things first. Brea did this whole Eat, Pray, Love moment in Bali and Guatemala, and I literally haven't even asked her about it because I was saving it for this moment. So tell me everything. Start from the top.
What top?
About Guatemala.
Guatemala?
No. Bali.
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 So
Bali.
they actually say Bali
Bali.
when you're there.
Bali.
Yeah, so like
Bali.
Bali. I've heard people say Bali,
Bali.
but
Like belly.
our tour guide, his name was D. He was the sweetest ever. He would say Bali.
Bali.
Welcome to Bali.
That just feels calming and peaceful.
It
Or like Bali. I'm going to Bali. And he's like, it's Bali.
No, so when I came back, I was like, Bali.
Wait.
Bali. Oh,
So,
are we not close enough?
there we are.
Bali. People are done.
all right. That's it. Thanks for coming on. was so
It
good.
was incredible. It was probably, I had this feeling before I left that it was going to be a very like spiritual, I felt like I was going to come back a different person, and I really did. Like, it was such an incredibly like wholesome, humbling, spiritual experience. And I did not want to come back.
Well, last I heard you were moving there. So what's up with that?
Are you calling me out right now?
Yeah.
On your podcast?
Yeah. For the whole world.
I did actually start to slowly purge items. I wasn't going to move there permanently. I had thought about maybe going back for like a month, 2, maybe 3, and just continuing the experience. I may. But things have kind of shifted since I've been home. Things have changed. What are you calling me out here for?
That's what the podcast is all about. Okay, but you said you had like I'm going to call it a spiritual awakening. You had a
100%.
So I think people use that as a buzzword, but I'm interested to hear like what tactical examples you have of how your life changed in Bali.
I think before I left, I did somatic breath work. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
What is it?
It is like an intense session that you end up having between like music, sound bowls, someone guiding you through your breath, and people have multiple different outcomes from it. So it can be like a release of trauma. Some people really like have a good cry. Some people like shake, have like body shakes.
Is it that video? Have you seen those people in New Zealand or something where they go around doing these like breathwork sessions and people are like literally okay. That's what that is.
So I didn't have that kind of experience. I think like I've processed through a lot of my traumas and my things in my yoga teacher training, which was the whole point of that. A lot of people think I went to yoga teacher training to become a yoga instructor, and I did not. It was actually, for me, it was a form of therapy. So anyway, I did this somatic breath work right before I left, and I had a vision at the end that I was going to be like of this kind of awakened, back fully in my feminine, golden goddess, if you will. Like the sun was shining on me. I was like in a field, kind of in a valley surrounded by mountains, and it was just like there was a breeze. And when I say that vision essentially came to life in Bali, 100%. It was the most insane thing. I started to cry, and then some have seen, but I came home with a new little piece on my back. It is the snake. And it's actually a Kundalini snake, and the Kundalini rising is your awakening and rise of your feminine energy. So
And you came home with a glow.
I have received that compliment a lot.
You've been glowing. You are the sunshine. You are light, sunshine.
Yeah, so the snake even has a sunburst to represent that part.
Did it? What was the tattoo like in Bali versus America?
It really wasn't that different, other than he was extremely accommodating and he came to the resort. So we ended up renting out a spa room, like a massage room. And because there was, I don't know, 6 or 7 of us who ended up getting tattoos. So we just paid for his travel fees and he came for the day. And it was so relaxing. I mean, I think being in a private setting like that, it was definitely different. But yeah, he was super professional. I know people are like, sketch. Not at all. He had the plastic. He showed us the dates on everything. He showed us that he was using a new needle, wasn't open and closed in packaging. And he had such a gentle touch.
I love that.
Yeah, I started to actually fall asleep during mine, and he checked in with me a few times.
Like, are you okay?
And I was sitting on a stool. Everyone else was able to lay on the table, but just where my placement was. So I was sitting like on a little footstool, like hunched over in a ball, while he just tattooed the back of my neck. So
interesting.
Yeah, but no, it was good. He was fast too.
Okay.
Turned out good.
So outside of, you did the somatic breath work before going to Bali, and then you had that moment where everything just kind of came together. But what are some things that you took home from there that you would not have expected that you were going to take home?
I think that experience in general, but other things that led to that we did is, first of all, the culture is really different. So to see how people live, how they interact with each other, the things that are important to them, like the 3 pillars of the people who live there are their connection with each other, their connection with nature, and their connection with the spiritual world. So that's what they base their principles, and that's how they live. So even, let's say, like, you go into a town and yeah, it's like dirty and there might be trash on the streets, but there is not a single soul living on them, because they would not allow that.
Wow.
They are so caring and so giving and so welcoming. I don't think there's like a single person I interacted with that didn't make me feel welcome or like I was home the entire time I was in Bali. So there was that. And then we visited a few temples. I took a holy bath.
What's a holy bath?
So you go to a temple, you have to wear a sarong. So when you go to temples, like, your shoulders have to be covered, your knees have to be covered, and they put a sarong on you. And then at one of the temples we went to, we actually they did like a cleansing. So they do this whole spiritual bit where they have like certain flowers of certain colors that have certain meanings, and they like twist them together. They put them behind your ear. And then what is that? Incense? It kind of looks like incense. So then they'll burn that and cleanse that around you. And they give you this little handmade like dish with these flowers in it that have all these different meanings. And then you walk up and somebody puts their hand in holy water and flicks it on your forehead.
Amen.
And then once you go through that process, you actually get into a holy bath. So it is a big like granite rock sanctuary full of holy water that streams in out of a natural spring.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So
interesting.
in this, there's multiple, what do you want to call them? Fountains. I think there was like 12. So you get into a line, and each fountain you pray or speak on whatever you want to speak on, and then you put your head in the water, and then you bow, and then you go to the next one.
Interesting.
So you do every single one, and it's full of people all day long. They do this all day long.
Really?
And then I want to say the 11th or 12th fountain is specifically for people who pass away. So you, as a living person, it's sacred and you are not allowed to pray under that fountain. So somebody can go in and fill or take water from it to someone's like ceremony after passing.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. We really don't have anything like that in America. We're like, how much can we buy off Amazon in 1 month?
I know, we're so out of touch.
Literally.
We're so out of touch with like human connection. Their principles.
Yeah.
Connection to humans, connection to nature, and the spiritual world.
I was really noticing that over Christmas this year, and just how much is just about like consumption. How many gifts can I give? And I started really like realizing that it's not so much about the quantity, but it's about the quality. And I know that's such a buzz phrase, but I really like understood it this year and felt it. So moving forward for the next indefinitely, we're not doing Christmas gifts. We're doing travel or like experiences or something that's going to make memories, like make moments rather than just opening gifts.
I love
like
that.
The kids, love you boys. If you're watching this in the future, I'm going to tell you what you did at 2 and 4 years old. Hi, speaking of you, what's up? We're podcasting, bubby. We'll be out in a little bit, okay? It's like they knew we were talking about them.
Well, he peeked through the window when he walked in. Auntie Bree's in here, duh.
I was over at my friend's house, and her mom is somebody that I just really look up to, and she had mentioned something about opening one gift a day. And so I got home from that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start having the kids open one gift per day, letting them enjoy that one gift. So the first thing that we had them open was these Big Joe beanbag chairs. And the cool thing about those chairs is the box they came in, they had markings on it so you could cut it into a castle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they opened that and they were obsessed with these chairs. Like they were watching movies, eating dinner, like they were just all up in these chairs. And then the box on top of that, like their castles, like they just had so much fun with it that day. And then the next day I let them open another gift, which was a little, like honestly, just a little piece of crap. Little digital camera. It's like for a 2 and 4 year old. Like
They loved it though.
They absolutely loved it. They were going around the house taking pictures, videos. Like they were just so obsessed with it. So we continued this up. Christmas morning, we had 2 gifts per kid left, and then we had 2 joint gifts. When I tell you that those kids ripped open those gifts and they were like, nice, I'm gonna open another one. Like they were just so, I mean, it's human nature. Like right. They were just like, give me another one. What's next? It's overstimulating, honestly. Like it's overwhelming, the amount of just stuff. And yeah, this year I really realized like family members, they did the same thing there where it was just like, what's next? I want to open another present. It's
How
like,
does that feel as a parent?
Kind of makes me mad. I'm like, that's not, first of all, it's not what the season is about.
Right.
Christmas is not about just opening as many gifts as you can possibly open. Mm-hmm. It's about Jesus's birth, and it's about giving back in your community and your family and showing love to one another. But that doesn't necessarily mean like just bombarding them with gifts.
Right.
But it just really showed like going into Christmas, doing the one gift a day, and just how meaningful it was to them and how special it was and how they really got to soak it in versus just like, here's 10 gifts, open them. And then they're like overwhelmed and they don't even know what to play with. And they want to play with one thing for 5 seconds and then open the next thing. And then you just have a ton of garbage and overconsumption. And we're going on a trip next year.
Well, you have to think like their attention spans, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm 32 and I'm a goldfish. So, but for children specifically, like, yeah, I mean, it has to be overstimulating for them. And you have to think their thought process is they have more gifts to open. Mm-hmm. Right. So when you're doing the one at a time, I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. But as far as like the travel and making memories, we as a family quit doing gifts 5, 6, 7 years back.
Yeah.
And now we just, the money that we would spend on gifts, we pool together and we rent an Airbnb and we invite our close family, extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever wants to come pitches in. We get like a massive house. We just pick a different location every year. We've done it all over Montana. We've done Sandpoint, Idaho. We've gone to Arizona. We've done it here. And then we all just stay together, play games, do puzzles.
Love that.
My mom always like comes up with the most fun baking ideas. So we like bake together. And yeah, so it just gives us an opportunity to spend a lot of quality time together. And then we also have like our own space to like disperse when you're like overstimulated.
No, I like that. I think that is so much more meaningful.
Last year we got a cabin, well, I would say cabin, but it was a house, right? In Georgetown, Montana, which is absolutely such a beautiful place. It's outside of Anaconda. You can fly into Bozeman. It's like hour and a half drive. But like I said, I'm 32, and we got to the point where we were having so much fun and so playful. Me and my sister were outside sledding, and our dog was like chasing us and like trying to jump in the sled with us.
Oh.
And then my mom's boyfriend, Matt, would like get in the truck, bring it down the hill, drive us back up. Like it was like we were children again. It was so much fun, and it's like memories that we'll never forget.
Yeah,
you know. And even as like, it'll be fun for you guys to watch the boys, and then the boys will begin to like have these memories that they'll compile, and they will remember, you know, eventually. So
well, even seeing you just talk about that, like your face lit up
because I felt like a kid again,
and that's so therapeutic too. Just being able to have that space to like just go create and just get off technology.
Yeah.
That's a podcast episode in itself. Technology and what that's doing to us.
It's awful.
Yeah.
I've actually gotten better though.
Really?
Since Montana. Oh yeah. I have like well over 100 and something messages that I need to respond to.
Now it feels like
because I've disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's watching this, I'm sorry, but I'm doing my best to be present in life. And that means that my response time went from 2 to 3 business days to like 7 to 10
weeks.
But actually, I'm sorry. I do love you. I think about you.
I think about you often. I've thought about your text probably 30 times.
I'm so sorry.
No, I do that too. You know.
Well, we do that to each other.
I know. But see, that's the kind of friends I like. Like, I honestly, the friends that I have to have in my life are the people that I can ghost and then pick back up like when my life isn't so chaotic. Like there's so much going on in my life at all times with a 2 and a 4-year-old, between me and my husband's businesses, between the traveling and the trips and taking care of my dad, and just, you know, the shit of being an adult in general too. Honestly, I feel like as you get older, life just flies by so much faster, and I understand that you have to like prioritize, but it's so nice having friends that just understand that, and that I understand like you have your own life too, and my other friends have their own life too. Like nothing is worse than having a friend who comes into your life and it like demands that you text them every single day or respond really quickly, or, you know, tries to be like best friends immediately. Like, listen,
we need to breathe, girl.
I hardly have time for my OG friends, but that's why it's so nice, because like with you, I know that you don't take it personally if I don't respond. You
and
just
vice versa.
You just have to hit me up again and then be like, no, this is urgent. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me call you.
No, quite literally, if you knew the amount of times we make plans and like day of or day after are like, oh shit. And then we're like, whoops, sorry. It's really never a problem.
We'll try again next
month. Like, but I also think we have a good circle of people around us, both of us, because we're kind of in the same circle, but also on the outside, where we all understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They really do. But I feel like everyone's really good of not taking things personally.
Yeah. Thank God.
Which is such a godsend,
but
honestly.
Any person that I've met that has tried to be like, why aren't you responding to me really quickly? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like those people have not lasted in my life. Like I'm a low maintenance friend.
We cannot have stage 5 clinger friends.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. Like I have nobody that I have bad blood towards, but like, there's just people that I cannot be like friends with. Mm-hmm. If you want to be friends, you gotta know that I take forever to respond. I'm going to call you. I probably won't text you back.
No. And that's the thing. Even when things are like, ignore text, and then something urgent, and one of us calls the other.
Yeah.
We have a quick burnout conversation, and then it's, okay, see you or talk to you in a couple weeks.
See you in 4 to 6 weeks.
Maybe in a few hours. Never know. It's usually really on the fly.
Literally, it is. But that's what I love about you. I love it so much.
I know. I love that. Well, I mean, I need that So I try to be that.
You have to be the friend that you want to have.
Mm-hmm. Well, just like they say, you have to show up in the world the way you want to see it,
Treat
right?
people how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Be the change you want to see.
Wait, what do you always say?
Be the change you want to see. Or we're all just hypocrites trying to survive.
When you rhyme.
I rhyme. I do that all the time.
Be the Brea you want to be.
Ooh.
Something like that.
Be the Brea. Oh, I had a
She
chant.
says it all the time and then thinks it's like this new chant every
Be
time.
the Brea you want to be. Be the Brea you want to see? No. I was chanting it.
You were really proud of yourself. Was that 2 days? A day ago? 3 days?
I have no
See, this is
clue.
what I'm talking about. We have no
I feel
concept
like
of time.
I feel like that was 2 years ago. I feel like that was when we first met. I'm like, be the Brea you want to see.
That would have been the first time you said it.
Yeah. Did I say it a couple days ago?
When you called me.
Did I? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I get on my little inspirational tangents and so much shit comes
And apparently
out of my mouth.
she blacks out.
I feel like that's my coping mechanism. That's my life defense mechanism. I'm like, I don't remember that. But I'm
good.
sorry.
It was all good.
I mean, was it good?
It was good.
Okay, then I'm not sorry. You're
No,
welcome.
thank you.
Oops. Whoopsie daisy.
Oh, goodness. If this isn't us, though, truly in a nutshell.
I know. I know. It's a wee bit chaotic, but it's also fun. And it's just like we're always there for each other.
Definitely.
Every other month. Or when
No,
we need it.
I know that if I called you and truly, truly needed something, you would be there.
That makes me happy.
100%.
Yay. Okay. See, I have this like thought that I'm just not enough in general. Like I'm not doing enough. I'm not a good enough. That's like most of the reason why I don't do coaching shit anymore. Cause I just feel like,
Well, that's different. That's a different caliber. You can't compare that.
well, there's just like this.
Okay. Perfect
this,
example. I was supposed to come see you the other day and I said, I can't. It was like super last minute. I can't. I'm overwhelmed. I need an alone day. I need a productive day. Things have kind of been out of pocket lately. And you literally called me. And then we had a quick conversation.
What's wrong?
I actually didn't want to talk to anybody.
So naturally I called her.
Wasn't even going to answer your call. And then I was like, had a little pulse. I was like, maybe I need this. And then I did. And it was good. Right? We had like a 20-minute conversation. We whipped it out.
She whipped it out.
Something like that.
But do you
I am a feral being.
Do you
sometimes.
regret answering my call?
Absolutely not. I told you. I think at the end of the call, I said I needed that more than I thought I did. I said I didn't even want to talk to anybody. And I answered you anyway. And it was exactly what I needed.
I am like a therapist sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
like I would say more of like a motivational coach. Like, you fucking got this.
I think you're really good at being a listener.
Really?
Yeah, it depends on the setting. Sometimes you also legitimately ask a question and then you're like a fucking squirrel.
Like what?
And you're in the next room.
And like he's dropping across the restaurant. What'd you say?
But I think when it counts.
Well, that's good. Well, I'll take it.
You really are.
I listen when it counts.
When it matters the most.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I think you're a great friend who I can depend on for anything, and you celebrate me over like the tiniest little shit. I forgot you brought me flowers and coffee for something one time. I think it was over something little.
For something.
What was it?
Your deal.
My deal.
Well, what it was we had the conversation before the deal about the pitch. And I said, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Say no.
And you pitched and you got it. And then, yes, I brought you flowers and coffee. Because how amazing. How do you not celebrate that?
I pitched him again.
Incredibly. You did.
Uh-huh. I'm still waiting to hear back. I actually had a dream this morning that I heard back, but there's nothing in my email thus far.
Well, premonitions are real.
Mm-hmm.
I have them all the time.
You know what's interesting about premonition? Okay, are you a vivid dreamer? Lucid dreamer? Do you dream?
I do. Not often. When I do, they usually come true.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I'm a very lucid dreamer. Like, I remember one time specifically in 2019, I woke up from this dream that my uncle, who had got hit and killed by a drunk driver when I was I wasn't even born. My dad was 15. Like, this was 1980. He got hit and killed. And then my aunt, his sister, she died when I was like 4 during surgery. And the dream I had was the news was celebrating the 40th anniversary of my uncle's death. And there was this one picture my grandparents always had of him. And I that was the vision I had of him, and like an old school, like brown box type TV. But I audibly heard his voice, and I audibly heard my aunt's voice. And I remember waking up and remembering the dream so vividly that I typed out an email to my grandparents that I still have. I was like, is this what he sounded like? And they were like, yeah, that's exactly what he sounded like, which was crazy. But like, I never really understood dreams or what they were, because, okay, for a moment there, I was having nightmares about everybody in my family getting picked off one by one. Like,
that sounds awful.
I had a dream that I walked in on my grandma laying dead on the floor, but that never came true. Like, she died in a different way. But it was just like, so I've always had like a weird, I don't know what to make of dreams. But then I've been, for 75 hard, I've been reading the Bible every day. And
after what I told you the other day, how dare you?
Love you.
My hand just went numb.
Let's wake her up.
Other one.
Let's wake her up. Fuck you.
That's
Sorry.
what that was.
No, that's my Lent. I'm practicing not cussing. Fluff you.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. I'm like cutting literally everything.
That's wild.
Everything besides coffee out of my life.
No cussing, huh?
Well, I'm trying to make see, I like cussing because I think that it really gives the sentences some oomph. Mm-hmm. I hardly ever cuss in a way where I'm like being derogatory towards people. I do it more for like sentence heighteners. But I could find other words to do that with. And just lately I've been feeling this pull of like, I should find like fun, weird alternatives to like certain cuss words. And, you know, I'm just weird in general.
Good luck with that.
But about the dream thing, to round
Oh,
that
you were
off-
going to circle back?
Yeah, to round that off, I've been reading the Bible during my 75 hard every day. And a lot of times in the Bible when God speaks to people is through dreams.
I believe that.
But
I believe
also,
that.
before my grandma died, her and I would always talk about dream visitations. And she would have dream visitations from my grandpa, her husband, who had died. And I remember one time, like every time I saw her, I'm like, did grandpa visit you in your dreams yet? And she was like, actually he did. And we talked about politics and what's going on in the world and da-da-da. And then when she died, or before she died, I was like, can you come visit me in my dreams? And she was like, oh, we'll see. But then like 2 or 3 weeks after she died, I had a dream about her and it just felt complete peace.
Oof,
It was,
I love that.
It was so cool. But I'm not
I
one
love
of those
that.
people who will like go to a psychic or anything like that. Like that's not my thing at all. But I believe that when I dream about people, that's them visiting me.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I like that.
If you ever die, you need to come visit me in my dreams. I rebuke
Deal.
that in the name of Jesus. You're not going anywhere. We got to grow old together.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Are you triggered that I said something about 75?
A little bit. I am. You know, you can see it on my face.
I know.
You can. See,
Let's talk about
This
it.
is how close we are.
Let's talk about it.
I think because I'm a little disappointed that I didn't even start. However, okay, these are just excuses though, right? Like we always have excuses. When you guys started, I wasn't even home. And it wasn't really feasible for me to do it with 2 days of travel. I mean, ish.
You
Again,
could do
an
Kegels in the
excuse.
car.
Oh, well,
Work out
You
that
know?
puss. Or the box.
who says I didn't?
You did. See, you're already on day one.
I mean, you know, I was pumping that gas and brake pedal for like
doing ankle
That
workouts.
should- Does that not count?
No, it counts.
I worked a calf for about 5 hours a day.
One calf. I worked out one calf and my wrist. No shame.
No shame. So I do intend to start, just haven't. And yeah, I don't know. Since I've been home, a lot has been happening.
Yeah.
Well, let's take it back to alcohol.
Ooh. Let's talk about alcohol.
For those who don't know, I've been in my sober season for, well, let's see. I've been playing in sober season for probably over a year. I think it's been over a year. And I go 3, 4, 5 months and then have a drink. And I am now, we talked about this the other day, 3 months.
Yeah.
It was 3 months on the 12th of no alcohol. And it's just been, I think like you, right? It's been something that's been an issue in my family. Addiction in general.
Yeah.
Using alcohol as a coping mechanism. For some of us, the others think that they're just enjoying themselves. Let me clear my throat on that one. But the unfortunate thing is it has consumed multiple people in my family. Addiction in general. And I actually had an uncle pass away on Christmas Eve. And, it was just an odd thing because he wasn't... You're going to make me cry. I love you.
You need a human touch.
I know. Yeah, I don't talk about personal life a lot, but the last 2 holiday seasons have not been kind to my family, right? Last September through December, we lost 4 family members.
No way.
And then my uncle passed away Christmas Eve because he overconsumption of alcohol and some unfortunate events happened and it consumed him and it took him and he's in a better place now. But it's just weird. And it's so weird to have that now kind of feel like it's a part of my testimony and why I don't drink. And I mean, never say never. To be honest, I started drinking because I genuinely like the taste. Like, I love a good whiskey. I love the taste of wine. And goddamn, your girl loves a good IPA.
There's non-alcoholic IPAs.
I actually have tried one.
Are
And
they
they're
good?
really good.
Yeah.
They're really good. But yeah, I think I hit a point where when I started using alcohol to cope, another thing, might as well, this time last year, I went through a separation after being with someone for almost a decade.
Wow.
And in that time, I started, before, when things were really, really not good, I was drinking a lot. We're talking like I could open a bottle of wine, throw that bitch back in 30 minutes and black out in the bathtub.
You could have drowned.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I actually woke up hours later in freezing cold water in the bathtub.
Dude,
It's wild.
You were saved by a miracle. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm happy I'm here too. Yeah, there's a lot of depth there, which I know we've talked about, and don't know that I'm ready to share all of that today. Maybe
you can share what you feel.
But
honestly, this podcast is called Unperfect for a reason. I don't want you or anybody listening to ever feel shame for something that you've been through, because if you've gone through it, somebody's gone through worse than you. And your story your testimony is someone else's survival guide. So if you feel like, this is something that I feel like if it helps one person to share, I will throw myself out there and do it because that's worth it for me, then great. If you're like, you know what, this is too raw and vulnerable for me, and I'm not ready to talk about it, then that's fine too. But I just want you to talk about what's on your heart and what you feel comfortable sharing. Because at the end of the day, we're all just hypocrites trying to survive. None of us have had like a survival guide on how to perfectly live life. Like, we are all just doing the best we can with the knowledge and resources at the time.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm all about being raw and real. So, I mean, the nitty gritty of it all is I've suffered with anxiousness and depression for almost the entirety of my existence. It became extremely heavy and dark towards the end of that decade. Not to say that it was solely an us issue. It definitely made it worse, to the point where my depression led to, I I don't know what you want to call them, suicidal night terrors, but essentially dreams where I was committing suicide. And so there are some things that I quit doing, like hiking, for example. I quit hiking because I didn't trust that I would actually come home one day. I don't think a lot of people actually know that.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, whew.
But I can empathize with you on that, because there's been certain things where I feel like I can't trust myself. And that's a scary fucking feeling. Like, people don't talk about that enough. That's that fear of like, what if I can't trust myself? Like, what if I just flip a switch and then something happens? Yeah.
So, you know, I dealt with that. Went to therapy. When therapy didn't work, I started yoga teacher training, which I used as therapy. That was actually a very selfish experience that turned into, now I give back regularly. I love teaching yoga a couple times a week. And yeah, alcohol was just another one of those elements where I realized it was causing way more harm than good. And even now, the few times I've broke sobriety to have a drink because I feel like I'm ready, it's not really anything other than like, I really miss the taste of that. I think I can handle it. And then I do. And that depression that sets in for me, I don't know, it takes me a good 7 to 10 business days to pull myself out of whatever that like funkiness is.
Alcohol is a spirit.
And just not worth it.
Yeah, it's literally a depressant.
So
it is a spirit, and I feel that when I drink. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons why I quit drinking, is because after even 1 to 2 drinks, if I was just to have like, oh, let me just have like one seltzer, and I was like, this isn't even worth it. But it's still the next 3 to 5 days for me, it would be like, there's just something off. Like, I just felt like I was not myself, and I don't know. It's just, if you know the feeling of the anxiety. You don't even have to be completely hungover to feel it, but it just like takes your body.
It feels like depression.
Yeah. It
literally, like, after I drink the next day, multiple times I've woke up and I've just cried, or I've not gotten out of bed all day and I've been binge watched Netflix or whatever. And it takes me days to like get out of this cloudiness and this funk. And so I think that's where I just have to be real with myself, that mentally I'm not ready to drink.
Yeah.
So even I went to dinner with a friend the other day, and they ordered I don't even remember, but it had whiskey in it. And I was like, oh,
sounds good.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So I smelled it. And the second I smelled it, I was like, nope, that's a no.
Nope.
That's a no for me.
But you know what? Smelling it, this is going to sound so Kourtney Kardashian of me, but sometimes smelling it is exciting though, because it is a sensation. Like your scent is one of your senses. Taste is another one of your senses. So when I don't do this anymore, but when I was like restricting myself from food, and I was in like a bad relationship with food at the time, but I would be like, let me just smell it. And you know what? You can get just a little bit of like what it would taste like to eat that or to drink it or to do whatever with it.
You know, what's actually funny about you saying that?
What?
Is when I have cravings of things that I know are not going to make me feel good, I buy them and then take them to people's houses as dessert.
Really?
So like the act of just buying it is enough satisfaction for me. And so my father used to always call me out and tell me to quit sabotaging to fulfill my own selfish need of just, he's like, I know you just buy it because that satisfies you. And then you bring it over here and I can't resist and I eat it. And I'm like, well, then don't eat it. Throw it away. I don't care.
I'm just doing this as a favor for you.
I was like, I'm trying to be nice.
Can I just smell it though?
I'm trying to be nice.
It's like the little like tiramisu or whatever cake. And then
which is so funny you say that because my family is Italian and my father loves tiramisu.
That's the fucking best. That's the fluffing best. See, but it's awareness is key.
Yes, step one.
Awareness. Okay, but I want to talk about the alcohol. I want to continue on that really quick because I can relate with you. My dad, he was an alcoholic my whole childhood, and then he had a stroke, and then he quit drinking. And then ever since he quit drinking, he would constantly tell me alcohol's a spirit. He would get grossed out by it. He was like in this phase where he's like, this is poison. Like, this is so bad for you. And me being rebellious,
poison.
Literally me being rebellious, I'm like, I need to learn this for myself. That's one thing. If you guys are going to learn anything about me, I need to crash and burn before I learn. Like, I have to learn the lesson. But over the past couple years, ever since I had Eli, I was like, it just started kind of like giving me the ick more. And so I would definitely 420 it up more. But in that span of 2 years, I dramatically cut back my drinking. I would have like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe have a night out where I was puking on the sidewalk in downtown Arlington. But then I would get up from that and I'd be like, I'm done drinking. Like, I hate it. I hate that feeling. And I think over the span of the last 2 years, that probably happened 4 or 5 times where I drank so much that I was like, what the fuck am I doing? But then it was on that brand trip. That was when I was like, okay, I have seen what I needed to see. I've been thinking about this and it's time to pull the plug. And I do not regret it at all. My great aunt,
when you missed your flight?
Yeah. Yes. My great aunt, she was an alcoholic, and my mom's whole line full of alcoholics. Alcoholic to the point where it ruined lives and it broke up families, and it was just bad. So, I mean, now, like, being out of that fog, it's so interesting to see just how much alcohol is pushed in society and culture, and how it's glorified. Like, we literally glorify poisoning ourselves. Honestly, I feel like being sober from alcohol has been a cheat code in life. Like, the amount of self-awareness you get, the amount of control you have over yourself, waking up every day feeling good rather than hungover or having that 5 to 10 day anxiety. It's been amazing. And I feel bad. I was telling my therapist this today. I was like, I feel bad because, you know, when you find something that's so good and it's amazing and you just want to like shout it from the rooftops.
Yes.
That's how I feel being sober. And obviously I share everything in my life because if it helps one person, it's worth it. But I know how triggering the topic of alcohol is for people.
It really is. And I don't know why. Like, here's how I look at it. I don't talk about being sober. I don't talk about my connection to like the spiritual world as like I'm on this high horse of being better than anybody. To me talking about how good I feel being sober is right in line with somebody who wants to talk about how good of a time they had drinking. It doesn't have to be like a personal attack.
Yeah. And
in my opinion, you're going to hate me and I don't care. In my opinion, anyone triggered by the fact that you or I or anyone else is talking about their sobriety is because maybe deep down they are having an issue with it themselves and they're just not ready to face that reality.
Well, it's all a projection, right?
Right. I mean, and we talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People are constantly projecting on other people, but we also have to check ourselves and make sure that when we're talking about our sobriety, we're not projecting on other people because of the negative experiences we've had with drinking. You know, maybe not everyone views it that way. Maybe not everyone cares or feels bad that they've had a hangover for 3 days or and that's fine. I don't care. I mean, I have friends who go day drinking at the winery all day and they know I'm still fun as hell sober. So guess who still gets an invite to the winery even though I'm drinking water?
Hell
this
yeah.
Bitch.
Hell yeah.
Even when what was the party? Everyone wore same colors.
Our Christmas party.
Yes. So like coming there, I think it was one of the girls. I don't remember, but they were like, there's no way. There's no way you're sober. You're way too fun. And I'm like, actually, I'm literally sober as can be.
I feel more fun sober.
I'm so sober.
Don't you feel more fun being
sober?
sober?
Sally is a good fucking time.
Honestly, like you can just let your freak flag fly because nobody's going to remember anyway.
Maybe that's the best part of it is I'm just kind of like a wild feral being in general. And I think for many years, especially being with my ex, I dumbed down who I was. Like even you, I don't know how many times you've told me like, who are you now? Like you're fun, like you're different, you're a good time. And this is actually me just rediscovering who I am without all the bullshit.
Amen. It's always that first drink. It's like that ceremonial, you know, you take the shot, you clink your glasses, you tip it back, you feel that warmth run down your body, right? But then you have to maintain that warmth by drinking more and drinking more and drinking more. And then you get to a point, at least I did. And honestly, this is just our personal experiences with drinking.
100%. I love my drunk friends.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys are
You're
such
fun.
a good fucking time.
You're fun.
And I like being around you more when I'm sober because I'm so much more aware of what's happening, and
Somebody needs to
you
take
guys
care.
are fun. And we need to take care of you.
Yeah.
Somebody needs a DD.
Let me love you, honey. Yeah, I would rather be the DD, honestly.
100%.
But for me, I would
what fast food restaurant do you want to drive
Yeah.
to?
Do you want to go to Taco Bell? I would feel so heavy though. Like personally, the reason why I quit alcohol is because I didn't like the way that it made me feel about like just that heaviness when you're, you know, 3-4 drinks in and then you have to keep drinking to maintain it, or you need to go to bed. I didn't like the way I felt the next day. I didn't like the anxiety of, oh my God, what did I say? Did I say too much? Was I acting a fool? Why was I sitting on the ground? Like, I didn't like surrendering that control. I just like being in control of my life. I have so much vision and purpose of where I'm going that alcohol genuinely was just getting in the way of that vision and that goal. Like it literally felt like a liquid wet blanket just holding me down.
I would agree. Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Yeah. Wet blanket. I feel like that's literally the best. It's like a wet heated blanket.
That's kind of gross, actually. I just got goosebumps. A little sensory overload thinking about that.
A wet
Quit.
weighted blanket.
Wow.
But doesn't it feel like that?
Yeah, I did not like that though.
And here's again, I feel like we really have to like reiterate this because I know how triggering this can be. This is just our experience with alcohol. This is the way alcohol made us feel, and we are all different. Every body is different.
Everybody. Oh yeah. I mean, circle back again. I love being around my drunk friends.
Me too. It's fun.
I mean, perfect example. Friday. I think it was Friday. Again, no concept of time ever. I met my boyfriend.
You heard it here first.
I met my boyfriend down at the White Horse. Him and a couple of friends had been bar hopping, and that was kind of like their last stop. And I was finally done with work, so I went down and I sat there for like 2 or 3 hours. Like the other like 4 or 5 people at the table, plastered. They'd been drinking for hours. They went from Rocket to Centennial to the White Horse, and they were feeling good. And when I tell you, it was 2 or 3 hours of great conversation, and I left with my face hurting because I was laughing so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing against it, sister. Like, you do you, and I'm gonna be there to watch.
Okay, but
then I'm gonna make sure you make it home safely. Because I love you.
I will drive you home. And see, we all need a DD friend.
Yeah.
We need a DD friend who can hang. Because
we just need supportive friends in general.
Yeah.
In any realm. Doesn't matter.
Well, there's some DD
Sober
friends
one, drunk one,
who
DD.
just sit there and they're like the whole time. Like, you got to be a fun DD.
I mean,
sober Sally.
Let's be honest. That is not a rider and probably not one of your best friends.
No.
Like, we need diehards in our lives.
You need to be able to dance sober.
We need the same people who don't care that we don't text them back for 5 days, because those are the good DD friends that will sit there and have a good time with you regardless of whether they're sober or not.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is like one of our normal just fucking tangents. Let's roll.
Yeah. Okay, but I do have to admit, when I was drinking, I'm going to tell you guys 2 thought processes that I had now that I'm sober that I realized that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So number 1, when I was around sober people, I was a pusher. Like, I'd be like, yo, you drink, like, do that. And why that is because I personally could not bear the thought of somebody sober remembering every single thing that I did or said in the night.
Really?
Knowing that I was going to be a dumbass or say something.
I've never even thought about that.
That is some deep awareness that I had. But that, I don't know if that is relatable for anybody, even on a subconscious
level. It's definitely
level.
an insecurity.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't want people to think that I'm any type of way because I say something I may regret or I do something that's stupid. I don't remember who I was specifically out with, but I ended up getting sick and puking. And I remember thinking like, oh, fuck, this person's going to go tell everybody that I'm just a drunk idiot. A drunk, sloppy idiot. But that is my insecurity. But that is one of the deep rooted things about me drinking and being around sober people is I didn't want, it's almost like misery loves company, right? Like I want everybody to be on my level. So then that way we're all equal. We're all even. If something were to happen, we were all fucked up, you know?
Right. But also in that moment, like my mind, I'm sure you could see my face. I'm like, another perfect example though of how differently we all think, because when I was drinking, I loved a sober friend because I want to be like, I want you to tell me all the crazy shit I did tomorrow because I'm probably not going to remember.
I loved having those debriefs, but then I hit a certain point when I was like anxious about it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. I'm just saying it's crazy how we all have different like perspectives of or feelings about things.
Yeah. But I think me coming from that perspective made me a little bit more empathetic because I know, again, how triggering the topic of alcohol can be. And I know how when some people quit drinking, like they stop getting invited to things. But I never wanted to be that person who
Do not do that to me. I will take you out.
Don't do that to your friends if they stop drinking.
Don't do that to your friends.
Unless they have...
It's like a dick move, honestly.
I would say, like, don't invite them to a bar if they have, like, a problem drinking.
Oh, let's touch on that, actually. So... because some of my friends know that I was using alcohol to cope, this is so sweet of them. I don't have any issue, clearly, being at a bar, a winery. I don't care if we go to dinner and you have a drink. It literally does not bother me.
Yeah.
I mean, we were playing
we were playing drinking games with airplane shots. We weren't drinking them. We were just moving
literally
them around.
So much fun. I was laughing my ass off. But I do have some friends who, once I started my sober journey, would message me before we would go out and be like, hey, is this place okay? Or I even had one, she's like, hey, I got here early. I was going to order a margarita, but I want to make sure it was okay. I drink it in front of you.
Aww.
And I was like, first of all, so sweet. Second, yes.
Please do.
Don't change who you are, but also don't
stop drinking.
Don't treat me differently. You know what I mean? It's like a two-way.
Don't stop drinking just because I did.
Right.
Just because we quit drinking doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah, I don't want you to be differently, and I don't want you to treat me differently.
Yes.
Like, that's something that is super important for me. I want the dynamic to stay.
Yeah. It's just...
because I don't have feelings about you drinking. Even people who are postured.
I don't even pass
drinking. A level of judgment whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm just not drinking because I don't want to shut down for the next 10 days.
Yeah.
My life won't survive that. Neither will my business.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Let's make this clear. We don't have feelings about you drinking. I have feelings about me drinking.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think when we started talking about it being a poison and people glorify it, then that's kind of, I think, where people start to get a little triggered that maybe you're pinpointing.
It literally is poison, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, but so is I'm literally on my 4th coffee today. No better.
Everything in moderation.
No better. It's all poison. Okay.
Oh, so this would be a bad point to give you a statistic I heard about alcohol.
Oh, no, tell me. I'm open. I'm receptive to all information. I feel like
I heard this on the Huberman Labs podcast. He is a neuroscientist from Stanford. And he said with every drink that you have, whether it be a shot, a beer, a glass of wine, your chance of cancer increases from 4 to 13%.
Wow. That's insane.
And for women, 15% for breast cancer.
What?
Isn't that fucking insane? Something else that I heard, though, which literally blew my mind, which I should know, but I, for so long, was like, I do not want to take antibiotics because they kill all the good and bad bacteria in your gut. So I was like, I don't want to take those. Alcohol does the same thing. It kills all the good and bad bacteria in your gut. So that's why it lowers your immune system, because it wipes out all of that. Isn't that insane? How did I not realize that?
I don't know, but I feel like maybe this is either me trying to make logic out of it, or this is true, and I've heard this somewhere, or life experience. But I feel like a lot of the alcoholics I know end up with colon cancer. And I wonder if it has to do with the bacteria as well that's dying off in the gut and they're not having healthy bowels.
I don't know. I have no
idea. That was
just
the most random side tangent, but this is how my brain works.
Well, here's the thing. I think that same thing with birth control. We don't really have 100%. Informed consent. I think with any pharmaceutical, with any drug, there's not as much informed consent. There's not as much information out there because it's hard to hear that. I know saying that and hearing it, like, it can be very triggering, but I would say I'm not responsible for your triggers.
At the end of the day, nobody is. Let's clear that right now.
I
That is a
bite my nails because I'm
other
anxious now.
tangent that we could.
Let's go there. Let's go there about triggers. I talked to my therapist about this today, and I'm like, you know what? I am not responsible for other people's triggers. And that is a hard pill to swallow because I don't want anybody to be mad at me. While I am very good at polarizing and triggering content, it is not my goal to get people as pissed off at me as possible at all.
No, this is just a place to be transparent and have all conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who is triggered, and I've had to have this heart to heart with myself time and time again. I've been called out on it multiple times with we'll call her my yoga instructor, but who did my yoga teacher training. She really hit it home time after time after time that when I was having something, like when I had something to vent about or was having an issue with a person specifically, she was like, well, sister, you need to take a look in the mirror.
Ooh,
She's like, it's on you. So there's actually mirror work meditations you can do. And I've cried through a lot of them, but it really boils down to any beliefs you have, any stories you tell yourself, anything that you allow yourself to be triggered by is your fucking responsibility.
Ooh.
Like, we don't get to control our circumstances all the time necessarily, but we do get to control how we respond to them.
Respond. That's the key word, not react.
Yes.
Respond.
And I actually had a conversation with my boyfriend of all people the other day about how different I am in this day where, like, I used to house a lot of anger and I used to be extremely reactive. And now I would like to think that I'm just responsive. So it was like more like when this happened in the past, I would have picked it up and thrown it across the room out of anger. Now, if I pick something up and drop it, I might leave it there for 10 minutes because I'm a little irritated. And instead of picking it up and throwing it across the room, I'm going to let it sit there till I cool down.
Yeah.
And I'm going to respond a little differently.
Yeah. I think let's go into the difference between a reaction and a response really quick. My definition of a reaction is like your knee-jerk gut, like flames. You're running on fumes.
Fire.
Yeah.
It's fire. You're running on straight fire.
It's the anger. There's no, I think reactions are quick and immediate, and they're angry, and they're really heightened responses, heightened emotions, heightened stories, whatever you want to call it. But responding is from a calm place. It's from a well thought out place. It's from a place of, okay, I've looked at all of the factors and I've had time to think about it and had time to sit with it. And I'm responding now in a place where I'm not triggered any longer.
It's self-awareness.
Yeah.
Which, let's not talk about how much of that's lacking in the world.
Yeah, there's not a lot of... I think... Okay, here's an interesting thought, in my opinion. So...
Not in mine.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
The fuck? So for...
Are you triggered yet?
I will be. So I think that to that point, there's not a lot of self-awareness in the world. I think there's a lot of narcissism that runs rampant in the world too. So it's like
there is, but let's tiptoe with the word narcissism. I feel like it's thrown around a lot.
Okay, I'm not diagnosing anybody. It's a trait. It's a trait.
Just soft
like
narcissism.
Just like joy.
Manipulative tendencies.
I'm not saying there's a lot of narcissistic personality disorder people in the world. Narcissism is a trait, just like judgment, just like joy, just like happiness, just like sadness. Like there's certain characteristics around that word. We're so into ourselves and constantly like manufacturing our appearance and what we look like and how we show up and wanting, attention and glory and I think with social media, it's really made its rounds in that way because it's so easy to post about what a great person you are because you did XYZ in PTQ for somebody else. That's
well, people are vain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Very vain.
That's one of my pet peeves. It's when people do good deeds and then they post about them.
Yes.
It's like, look at what a great person I am. When influencers post a video of them like feeding the homeless, like they have somebody taking a video of them and giving food. I'm like, why did you have to take a video of that? Why couldn't you do it in private?
And at that point, I actually don't even think that you're a good person. I question your character.
Like, why do you need
100%.
Why do you need to take a video of you? Honestly, what is the point in you taking a video of you giving food or cash or money to somebody in need? That lights a fire in me. I'm like, do it because you're a good person deep down and you don't need the accolades. You don't need people to think you're a good person.
Well, now I'm triggered.
Ooh. Ooh, okay.
Well, I don't post about all the good deeds I do. I mean, when do you ever see them?
Literally
Hardly
never.
Ever. Okay. But my one now I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't post about that. But every year I do Giving Tree and
That's
buy
for your
gifts
work.
for children.
And
I post about it because I love it. Because it makes
you
me so
crowdsource
happy.
people too.
I do.
But that's different. If you're like, hey, I want to do this Giving Tree thing.
Okay, well,
and
my
if
overthinker brain.
And if anybody would like to donate and help me in this Giving Tree thing, that is so much different. Again, I'm sure that there's something that I'm going to post in the future that people are going to be like, remember what you said in this podcast. And just remember this. We are all just hypocrites trying to survive. That is my one trigger. And I know where it comes from. I know where it stems from. I'm not going to get into that. But it's a trigger for me for a specific reason. And that's all I'm going to say.
I am triggered by vain people as well. But I would say it's something that I was raised around.
Really?
Family.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it fun to know where your triggers come from, though?
Well, I mean, I did a lot of work to figure that out, but absolutely.
Well, I mean, okay, because here's the thing. We could run around being triggered all we want. Like, anything could trigger us if we let it. But I think there's so much power in understanding where it comes from because then it loses its power.
It loses its control over you.
Yeah. Then you're not just like pissed at the world. You're like, this bothers me because... And then you remember that it's your problem, not the whole world's problem.
Well, it's your problem to shift your perspective on it, but also on the flip side, now I can find myself where I'm like, well, I'm not going to let that bother me because it's not about me, it's about them.
Ooh. See, and that's the work I need to do on that. Because my goal, be completely untriggered. Like, let everything roll off my back.
Have you ever thought of changing your verbiage around it and not like, so I used to say every little thing that bothered me was a trigger.
Yeah.
Just like I used to say every little amount of stress I had was anxiety. And then I was like, I don't even want to identify as an anxious person anymore because I'm not, because I know the difference between having true anxiety, like panic level attack, had to pull over on the side of the highway, couldn't fucking breathe. Anxiety, I've had it, versus I'm a little stressed or I'm a little irritable, but just getting comfortable calling it, all of it anxiety. And so I did the same thing with, well, I'm triggered. And then I was like, well, this is fucking annoying. Actually, I'm not. I'm just a little irritated. And in 5 seconds, it's not going to bother me.
Yeah. So changing it from this triggers me to like, this irritates me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because again, like at the end of the day, you really have the control over how you want to view it, your perspective shift on it, how you let it impact you, for how long.
Yeah. Well, I'm over it now.
It's your responsibility.
I'm over it. That was just my
Your
little
responsibility.
tangent. That was my soapbox.
Your responsibility.
Now you're triggering me.
I love you.
It's better. No, I think words are very powerful. Whoever said sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's like
Was
the
a
biggest
fucking liar.
That's the biggest fucking
Honestly.
bullshit. Like your tongue is literally a sword. Like you could like there's shit that people have said to me when I was younger that I still remember to this day.
Well, the proof is my sister threw a rock at my face one time and it definitely didn't break any bones. But she said some mean words once upon a time and that took me out.
Hold on. I'm so sorry, honey. Why don't you go tell Dada how that made you feel? Let's circle out the trigger, like you're responsible for your triggers. I know when me talking about that trigger, that is 100% my responsibility. That is 100% something that bothers me for no good reason. Literally no good reason. Because why does anything that anybody else does bother me besides drinking and driving?
Oh, that's different. You're being irresponsible. You're actually just being an asshole. That is a non-negotiable for me. You're putting yourself at jeopardy, other people at jeopardy. And it's, I mean, in today's world,
Why?
not even necessary.
Why?
Like, there are so many outlets.
Why? Yeah. Why? Yeah, I think.
And if you put yourself in that position, it's your responsibility to make sure you pull yourself out of it without impacting other people around you.
Yeah. And people who like,
I don't care if you got to walk your ass 10 miles. Maybe you shouldn't have drank that much.
yeah. Yeah, I think that is a non-negotiable. I think in general, the way people live their lives should have zero effect on your life. It's not your life to live. Like focus on your own life and your own decisions and what kind of impact you want to make on the world. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be the one that's standing at the gates of heaven being like, well, Johnny, you can't enter because you did X, Y, or Z on April 22nd, 2001. Like,
Yeah, you don't get to be the gatekeeper.
you're not. Oh, that's a perfect example of that word, a gatekeeper. Yeah, you're not. You aren't the final judge, and you're not the jury unless you're summoned to jury duty.
I like that too. My grandfather, well, I mean, growing up in the country, he would say, I tend to mine, you tend to yours. Is basically how he would say, mind your damn business.
Literally, mind your damn business, unless you're drinking and driving.
And hydrate.
But drink some water. Yeah,
Drink some water. Mind your business.
mind your business and drink your H2O. Ho.
Oh my God. Easy cheesy.
Ooh, is that a swear word?
Ho?
No, it's a garden tool.
It is a garden tool.
This felt therapeutic.
It really did.
Anything else that's like on your chest, on your heart that you're like, oh, I kind of want to talk about this?
No, I think we like definitely, what was that game? A pinball machine?
Yeah.
We definitely pinballed into a million different directions.
But I
But
like
like those
that.
are our conversations just
Yeah.
in general.
Nothing's worse than getting stuck on like one
Yeah.
thing and just talking about it. Over
It's
and over
boring.
and
Nobody wants to listen to that shit.
Yeah, especially if you have ADHD. I want to talk about everything.
But this is how we find relations. And I think it's how we've become like super conscious and aware of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even since we've become friends, which it's been what, 2 years, 2-ish years, our evolution in that time is wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we're all in this together because we know.
Well, I attribute
all.
it to the conversations.
Yeah.
And the fact that we actually have a circle of friends who have these kinds of conversations all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we literally sit in a room and have, what do they say? You surround yourself with people you can sit in a room and have conversations with that don't involve anybody else. And that's literally us all the time.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about one person specifically on here.
No, because it didn't matter. Find yourself in a room of people like this.
Mm-hmm.
Us. Duh.
Duh.
Hello.
Are you kidding me? Us.
We're always accepting new friends. Again, we might need 5 to 7 business days to respond. You have to be okay with that.
If you are somebody, you are entitled to be in our friend group if you can manage picking up where we left off whenever the last time was that we talked. Oh my God, that's honestly me and Jean. You know, she lives in Idaho. Here now, now let's start talking about people. She lives in Idaho, but we've been best friends since childhood. She's like a sister. But we will go like months without talking, and then it's just like there's one phone call one day and it's just like you catch up and then you hang up and then talk a couple months later. And that's just honestly the best. The best.
I agree.
Okay. Last question for you. What kind of mark do you want to leave on the world?
I mean, that was not a question I was ready for.
So?
I don't know. I just want to be this light.
Well,
I want to...
You are.
I don't know. I feel like I want people to leave my presence feeling lighter, brighter. Not only that they've been like heard and seen, but like also that they can have a perspective shift, or just to have a different view on the world. Like nothing is set in stone. It really isn't black or white.
Ooh, that's so true.
And I think I sat with somebody and had coffee the other day, and she was like, I always kind of like forget, because she's one of those people I only see maybe every like 6 months or whatever. And then we'll have a really good conversation. And she's like, being around you is so refreshing. Like it's different. She's like, you sit, you actually listen. You don't interject. You give input when it's asked for. The insight. She's like, you're such a light. I always feel so good and like loved and welcomed. And that's really just what I want. The mark, I guess. I don't know what I want people to feel.
Yeah. I want you to feel loved, light, happiness, lighter, insights.
Gosh, that sounds really yogic.
Yogic?
Weird. Yeah.
Is yogic a word?
I don't even know if it's a word.
Yogic.
It is now.
That's so yogic. Stop trying to make yogic happen.
Let's be honest. Your girl is backroads country, okay? I'm very versatile, I would say.
You're eclectic, and I like that. I like eclectic people. Honestly, my favorite type of people are you, where it's like there's layers, there's depth. It's not all about the appearance on the outside. Like, have you ever watched the show Grace and Frankie?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, there's the show Grace and Frankie, and it's two older ladies, and their husbands leave them for each other. And so these two now divorced wives, they move in together, and one of them, Frankie, is super eclectic. Like, she paints, she wears like really baggy clothes, like she's like hippie, she does ayahuasca, like she just is nurturing, loving, like very in tune with what she wants and writes and whatever. And then there's Grace, and she is all about appearance, has a popped collar, perfect hair all the time, like very afraid to be vulnerable, like just doesn't, like just has this persona, like built this company, now retired. And it's like, it's a really hard shell exterior. And I was thinking about like the different characters and roles that we have in life, and how there is Graces and there are Frankies. And I definitely prefer the Frankies, like the people that you can have open and honest conversations with, who, leave their shoes at the door, not literally, but it's okay, like, to just be a human. And I think that's what this whole podcast is about, is just having these human conversations where we can say things that are vulnerable, and we know that if it helps one person, it's worth it, and to feel less alone, and to plant a seed. And if you decide to water it, that's on you. If you don't, you can just keep on walking by. But I think that a space like this for the Frankies of the world is definitely needed.
Yeah. I want people to know they can be versatile.
Yeah.
You can be whatever, whenever.
Ooh,
I can show up to your house homeless. I can show up to your house dressed in the nines.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak proper. I also can speak like I've
gibberish.
never opened a damn book.
Pig Latin.
You were making fun of my accent earlier.
She does sound like she's from Minnesota.
I'm not from Minnesota. I'm from Montana.
But she says her O's like that.
What did you say?
You said it. And
I don't remember what the word was.
I don't know. Something with an O.
Yeah. Something with an O. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know.
I think
you can be all around. You can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. Okay. Let's finish with this. Let's talk about our intentions for 2024, since it is still January. I like that little sound. Do that again.
I can't. That was just me being me in a moment, and now there's no rain. I literally don't remember how I did that.
Damn, girl. Look at them lips. Okay.
Go with it.
Intentions for 2024. Do you know yours?
You first.
For 2024, my intention is to be more open and more honest and respect my boundaries. See, I don't feel like I'm a judgmental person in general, but also I know that there are things that do trigger me, like we were talking about in this conversation. And so I want to go more for that, like, let things roll off my back type mindset. One of my friends, social friends, Danielle Walter, she has the Who Is She podcast, and I listened to it the other day, and she called it the ducky mindset or something, and how ducks, like when they have water on their back, it literally just glides right off. And I want to be more like that, where it's just optimistic, positive, just find the positive in everything, find the joy, like release the negativity, release the triggers, release all of the shit that weighs us down mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. I just want to feel light this year and do things that make me feel good and not feel responsible for other people's triggers and the way that they respond and react to the content that I put out, or what they may think of me, or what they may think of my life. Like, I just want to do me this year. Not literally, not in like a,
I mean, you know,
I'll let Riley.
You both have to have fun.
We did. That's why I was in my room when you came.
Oh, that makes so much more sense now.
Okay. Your turn.
I would say I'm kind of on par with that. I was going to hit from more of a selfish, but it benefits other people angle, where, again, I'm a year and a half out of my separation, becoming like the most me I've ever been. I still have some ground to cover there, and I want to continue on that front. I feel like being this version of me has benefited the people around me tenfold. Yes. And I want to continue to bring that, the conversations, the laughs, the comfort, you know, I want to keep bringing that to the table. Meaningful. And being, like this intentional, meaningful placeholder in people's lives. And not, you know, I mean, for me, I'm living more in a season where if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. Mm-hmm. And even people who meet me, if I'm not your person, I'm not. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. I've become so much more okay with that. I don't take it personally. Yeah. I just think that it's important to make sure that the circle around you, and maybe this is where my intention lies, is that it's people who make you feel good when you are and aren't in the room. Yes. Like, you don't have to second guess. You don't have to question. And I think this, even today, so when I told you I needed to finish a message before I came in here, it's because my boyfriend, it's so weird to say, messaged me and said, you're really scoring points all around here, because his assistant told him how much she really loves me after Friday when I met them all at the bar. And then his best friend, who's been his friend since childhood, like they were little boys together running rampant through Darrington, I guess had just left his office and basically told him that he didn't want to, you know, jinx us, but that he thinks that I'm really good for him, and that he's never seen him date someone that he didn't change for when they were around. So he was like, when she walked in and sat down, it felt right. He's like, you did not change. Yeah. At all. Yeah. Your demeanor, your mannerisms, you were like exactly the you are when you're with the boys. And that is what I want for every single person around me. I want you to feel like you can be that for people. You can be that around people. And I want you to be that around me. Yeah. And I want to be that around you. And same thing. If I don't feel like I'm around somebody that I can be that way, then it's not personal. It's just, what do they say? It's not personal. It's
an attack.
Oh, God damn you.
It's an attack to the nations.
No, it's not personal. It's just the energies. It's the vibe.
Yeah. It's like, it's
trusting your own intuition. That is literally your own internal feeling that tells you, I'm not saying they're a bad person, but they're probably not your person.
But that's okay. They're not going to be a seed planted in your garden.
Exactly.
I really like these gardening metaphors because you pull weeds, you prune, you plant new seeds, you water them, you take care, like you talk nicely to them. It's all like, I feel like life really is a garden, and you get to choose what lives in that garden. And sometimes there will be deers that come and eat your shit, or slugs, or, you know, there'll be little things that you can't control. It's all about how you respond to that. I'm so happy you came on. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to link all Bree's socials and tags and whatever handles down below. But also, this is the point of the podcast where I ask you to subscribe, leave 5 stars. If you would leave a review, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, that would be amazing. I'm trying to get to 500 reviews on every platform, so that would be awesome. And if you're watching on YouTube, just hit that little bell button, subscribe thing. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And FedEx is here, I think, with my Aura ring, so
perfect.
Cannot wait. Thank you guys. Love you so much. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.